G'day guys, welcome to our first lesson of Outdoor Ed. My name is Todd Watt. I'm minor in outdoor education, so I'll be with you guys for the next 4 weeks as we learn a few things about the outdoor education world. To start our lesson today, I just want you to have a 3 minute, I'm going to call it a quick write. So I want you to get either a Word document open or a pen and paper and some notebooks, whatever you need. And you're just going to do a quick write, 3 minutes of what outdoor education is to you. Doesn't have to be anything to do with the learning. It could mean a personal thing, it means to you just as a self. And yeah, just 3 minutes, smash out as many words as you can. So just pause the video, and then when you're done, come back and we'll continue on with our lesson. Great work, guys. Hopefully, you had some great points down, and I'm looking forward to sharing them and having a listen to what outdoor education means to you guys. For me, outdoor education is learning that happens in, about, and for our natural environment. So, throughout outdoor ed, we're pretty lucky to be out and about in our natural environment. So, you're looking at the learning that happens in it, whether that be a cultural thing, you're looking at ecosystems, sustainability, all that sort of stuff. About the natural environment as well. So, you're looking at how things are formed, the impacts that humans can have on that, and then, yeah, for the natural environment too. So, things such as ways we can improve our environment and leave it in a better place than when we found it. I think outdoor education is really good for teamwork, communication, and problem solving. Uh, you'll obviously get lots of opportunities if you do study outdoor ed to get out in the outdoors, work as groups, which really promotes that teamwork aspect, which I think is really, really beneficial for everyone. Communication as well. These are skills that you can learn if you're outdoor ed, and I think it's super important to other aspects of your life as well. So it doesn't matter what field of work you're in or whatever you're doing, you're always going to need good communication skills. So I think outdoor ed's really good for that, and problem solving as well. Another thing that you're going to use many, many times throughout your life. I think outdoor ed also builds resilience, independence, and confidence through challenge. You're able to go through so many different things where you are challenged and come up with things that you need to work through and work towards a goal. And I think, yeah, being in outdoor ed setting really helps with those things. And it connects people to nature, place, and community. It's a really, really special thing that we can do. We're getting outside, putting ourselves in different situations, meeting new people, connecting to nature just by being in the outdoors, which is something that probably doesn't happen as much as it should these days with screens and all that stuff. And then finally, it promotes well-being, physical activity, and environmental responsibility as well. It's a really, really nice thing that we can do to increase our well-being by being outside. Promotes physical activity just by getting out, doing new things, whether that be walking, riding a bike, swimming, surfing, whatever that is. There's so many different things we can do in the outdoor education setting to promote that physical activity. And then also some environmental responsibility. I think us as outdoor pioneers, we're really, really lucky, but we do carry that responsibility of leaving the environment in a better place than what we found it, and hopefully educating other people to do the same thing as well. So that's what outdoor education is to me. That sort of summarizes it a little bit. Can't wait to hear some of your points as well about what you've written down, which would be super exciting as too. Second side, why I love outdoor education, just a bit about me as well. It helps me learn and teach outside the classroom in a real hands-on way. I think I'm pretty lucky in the fact that I can get outside and we can learn some things in a different setting to just the classroom, where some of us seem to be stuck a little bit, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, I think getting outside and teaching in a real hands-on, practical way is really beneficial to the students. And I love seeing students challenge themselves and grow in confidence. We get to put ourselves into some really cool sort of situations and experiences where students are able to develop and grow in a number of ways, which is great. Leading on to that sense of teamwork, trust, and connection. Again, I spoke about a bit about that in the last slide, but yeah, it just overall creates that really nice group cohesion and yeah, a bit of teamwork and stuff, which is awesome. Um, and then also, yeah, creates memorable experiences that stick with people for life, as well as bringing together adventure, learning, and personal growth. So they tie in really nicely. But yeah, the outdoor education just allows for a really nice setting for people to make new experiences and have these ones that sort of stick with you for life. I know throughout my degree, I've had many, many times, and I've built lifelong friendships just through these outdoor ed experiences. So that's why I love outdoor ed. Um, for our next 4 lessons, today we're just going to sort of look about what outdoor education is as a bit of a whole, and that's going to lead on to a couple of different things that we'll look at throughout the next 4 weeks. First one of them, today, yeah, is just outdoor education as a general. And then next week, we're going to be looking at packing for a camp, some tips and tricks there. And then after that, we're going to do some maps and navigation. And then lesson 4 will be a bit of sustainability. So that's what we've got for the next 4 weeks. For our next activity, what I want you to do is just have a think about a couple of these questions. So the outdoors and our well-being is sort of the topic we're looking at just right now. And I want you to think about, how do you feel when you're outdoors, and why do you feel this way? So yeah, just pause the video for 30 seconds. You don't have to write anything down just yet, but just keep those things in mind for the next couple of slides, and we will keep going. When we are looking at the benefits for our well-being and being in the outdoors, spending time in nature can reduce stress and anxiety. So it's a really, really simple way that you can help with those things in your life by just getting outside, going for a walk, or just sitting, spending some time reflecting, and just getting away from your thoughts a little bit sometimes as well. I think in the outdoors is super, super important. You can also improve physical fitness and energy. As I said before, there's many ways you can get in the outdoors, and it's not just going for a run or whatever, but it might just be going to the beach, putting your feet in the sand. There's swimming, there's kayaking, there's so many opportunities that you can do in the outdoors to increase your physical fitness and energy. Um, Connecting with nature supports a sense of belonging and identity. And I think if you ever go on a field trip for Outdoor or whatever you're doing, you'll sort of understand that. But yeah, just being in nature, being in surroundings, escaping from all the other bits and bobs in your life that might be going on. Yeah, just getting in the outdoors and sort of separating yourself from all your other stresses really creates that sense of belonging and identity. And yeah, I think you'll find that if you do sort of get out and have a really nice nature experience. The benefits of taking care of the environment is purpose and responsibility. Once we do start looking out for our environment and trying to do things to better our environment, it really does build that purpose. And I think that responsibility it's fulfilling. When you are out and about, whether that just be picking up a piece of rubbish or actively participating in a beach cleanup for rubbish and things like that, it really does build that responsibility and purpose, which is super, super beneficial for us as humans. And then it also encourages mindfulness and present moment awareness. Now, this is probably a big one nowadays with so many things being on screens and always having our phones and always sort of being connected to technology in a way. But if you are out and about in the outdoors and sort of just taking some presence in, just breathing in the fresh air, or yeah, as I said before, put your feet in the sand at the beach, listen to the waves crash. But yeah, just being present in that moment is super beneficial in a really, really nice way that we can enjoy the outdoors and have all those benefits that it can bring for us. And then, yeah, it deepens personal connection to the natural world, which is something that, again, a lot of people don't have. But yeah, just being able to have that personal connection to the natural world is really, really awesome. So, for our next activity, what I want us to do is have a look at your outdoor happy place. Now, this lesson about outdoors, we're going to have a look at in general, but it's going to be a bit more of a personal reflection sort of thing about what outdoor ed is to us and how we can use that in the future. So, for this next activity, I want you to pause the video in a minute, and I want you to draw or have a picture, have a little sketch, whether that be on your computer or whatever, or on a piece of paper. That's totally fine with me. But I want you to draw a little image about what a outdoor happy place is for you. So whether that be a memory of somewhere you did had an experience growing up, or whether you've been on a camp and you really, really love the view at the top of a mountain, whatever that is, up to you. But I want you to draw it, and I want you to annotate it with significant feelings, emotions, or memories that sort of accompany that place that you are. So pause the video, and then yeah, I'll give you about 10 minutes to draw a sketch, annotate it with as many feelings, emotions, as memories as you can, and then we will come back to the lesson. Great work, guys. Looking forward to seeing a couple of those a bit later on. And next slide here, this is sort of a key statement that I really, really like to go back to a fair bit when teaching outdoor education, and that is outdoor education helps us learn about, in, and for the environment. I think this statement really summarizes what outdoor ed is and how we can use it to benefit ourselves and our environment. So the about, as I was sort of speaking about before, is understanding how the natural environment works. So that's looking at all your plants, your different ecosystems, your animals, weather, landforms, and cultures. And yeah, that all is super important, and it's a lot to take in. So you might only be looking at one of these things at a time, but a big one that we do try to include is cultures, whether that be Indigenous Australians or wherever you are in the world. But these things are super important to sort of weave into your outdoor ed learning, because there are so many amazing things that we can get from that. And then the in sort of bit is learning by being outdoors and experiencing nature directly. Uh, Outdoor Ed is a great one. Yes, I know we're online and we're teaching it sort of in this format, but if you are lucky enough to do it in person, it's one of those things you can really, really highlight some place-based learning. There's so many wonderful places you can get out to in your local communities, and then you can just learn hands-on straight off the bat. Even if you are in the city, there's so many national parks just 10 minutes down the road that are easy to escape to, and it does feel like you're whole in another world, and it makes the learning feel a little bit more I guess, like relevant when you are in that environment. Whereas if you are just teaching in a classroom and you're talking about these things, it's hard to get a grasp as to, oh, how this is all working. But when you are just straight up in there, hands on, in the environment, it gets a lot easier and a lot more beneficial. And then four, developing a sense of care, responsibility to protect and look after our environment. I think this is a big one, and hopefully we can all carry on with this in our lives, and we'll get onto this a bit later in our lesson units. But yeah, looking at sustainability and ways that we can improve our environment is a great opportunity for us as outdoor people to do that and sort of educate others in how to do that as well. But we will touch on that later in our unit. But yeah, I just guess that statement really sits really nicely with me as an overview of what outdoor education is and how we can use it to benefit us and our environment as well. For our last activity today, I kind of want to put all those things that we've done today in our lesson into a little bit of a mini poster. So again, I want you to pause your video and I'll give you about 10 minutes to do this too. But I want to make a little mini outdoor education poster of a reflection of sort of what it means to you and your understanding based on what we've learnt today. These things must include, your poster must include either two images or sketches. You could use the one that we did before with our happy place. And I want you to put three key concepts, phrases, or words around that. I don't really mind what they look like. That's up to you with your artistic creativity. But three things that you sort of learnt today, or phrases you might have learnt, or things you might want to look at, and that really resonated with you. And then also one key benefit to being in the outdoors that you learnt as well. So pause the video, get cracking on a nice creative mini poster. It doesn't have to be all colourful and whatever, but yeah, just a few things there that we've got in the requirements, and then we'll come back and have a look at them a bit later on. Amazing. So what I want you to do now, we've done those few activities. Could you please send them to my email at the university email, which is great. It's just Todd Watt, so you can search that one up, flick that one through, because I really want to look at just an image, a photo, whatever, or you can copy and paste into an email. But yeah, I want to see your bits and bobs that you created throughout your lesson today, which is awesome. And then while you're doing that, just reflect on one thing you learned today is. So you don't have to write that down, but just have a think about one thing that you learned today, just as a little personal reflection thing. Nothing too drastic there. But yeah, I just want to, just a quick reflection about what you learned today would be great. And then next week, we're going to be looking at packing for trips. So field trips are an exciting thing, and there's lots of planning that goes involved with that. But yeah, we'll be looking at some tips and tricks of things of how to pack field trips. But other than that, thank you for cooperating this lesson. I hope you learned a little bit, and I'm really excited to see all your activities that you did today, because keen to learn a bit about you and what outdoor ed means to you. But yeah, thanks for the lesson today, and we will see you next week.